Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. So what is happening today? We are seeing Brigadier General Ansalem Sanyatwe becoming unpopular with the masses there on social media following the recently surfaced address where we see him addressing some people. I wouldn't necessarily call them a crowd. I don't know how many people are a crowd. All right. So he was addressing that crowd there. So we're just going to check it out to check out what he was saying. And a whole lot of other stuffs. We're seeing new announcements and declarations being made, threats on the inhibitors of the SADC summit, the upcoming SADC summit. So yesterday, a Vice President Constantino Chiwenga's birthday, right? He was turning 68 years. So we saw the wife there putting a flashy slideshow there for the Vice President. Unoziyawo kuti for munhu wagenerali, so such stuff is not usually associated nemunhu wagenerali. You know, zvinhu zvine preferable kuitirwa general, right? So we're just gonna read a little bit from that one there, as we are about to go over to the Ansalem Sanyatwe Nyatwas. So the couple looking brilliant and bright. Okay. So she posts on social media. She writes, "Soko yangu, my smile keeper." All right, let me take that one again, back again. Soko yangu, my smile keeper, happy 68th birthday. I wish you many more blessed years, Munu wangu. A selfless man, straightforward, God-fearing, principled, a cheerful giver, trustworthy, firm but loving, hard outside but with a soft heart like an egg, humble, patient, hardworking, considerate, loving father and husband, a historian, promoter of our culture and values, a propagator of unity, a loyal son of Zimbabwe, our general VP. The list is endless. I am happy I got to share this life with you. I'm now a better person in many ways, and I continue to learn as much as I can from you. May the Lord Almighty keep, guide, protect, and give you strength always. Tandi, my guy. And the other two words that I cannot read. All right. Enough respect to everybody who is watching us live. Right about now. Yeah, guys. All right. Yes. Okay. Be with me, guys. My sense of humor is normal. Is normal. It may sound too high. Okay. I hope it's sounding normal. Enough respect to everybody. Okay. Anyways, it's not humor. I cannot pronounce it. I don't know how that is very funny. Sometimes we need to try, but sometimes, yeah. All right. So that was the message there, the birthday message there, made there in that slideshow where we're seeing images there. Okay. So those things we post on your social media. So social media is now the in thing. I think I did show off Chichi. Now to the general Ansalem Sanyatwe. Yeah, what was he saying? So now this one is a different site of this Brigadier General here. We're seeing him in a civilian clothing there, addressing civilians if they're civilians there. Yeah, so it's a crowdish, right?
Business center pa pekubira pamira Luizi rusatirwa ondomoka izoka tichizoka tane futi ngauya futi pamuti chichakaitika.
All right, just 1 minute. Let me just increase the volume there. Be with me there. I think the volume is too low there. Let me just increase it here. So I'm using one screen. I'm not slow, but sometimes I find just that 1 minute delay too slow. Just increase it here.
Takatambirwa nemhondoro kanyamaropa pamuturi. Rudona muturi wakabereka ambassador. Mutuyu wakabereka Lieutenant General. Mutuyu wabereka Commander Army. Rudona saka ZANU PF itatonga kusika madonge ameranya. Muchita ngadi ameni apanda kutaura sa Commander Army.
All right. And the Muchida Msingadi, anyways, hands up, and I'll tell us a Commander Army. So we'll get back to that one. I'm just going to be taking note of my punchlines to bring them to closer attention.
Shashandisa inonzi command voting. Yes.
All right. Here he says, Shashandisa inonzi command voting. Command voting. The word command means control. Now, this is Ansalem Sanyatwe, who commanded the Presidential Guard for some time. He's an Army General, a Brigadier General. So whether retired or not retired, these guys, they remain who they are. But here we're seeing him in another face, in another picture, in civilian. So he then switches Pachi General Manje. Then he begins speaking on the issues of command. So when you're speaking with people in your community, right? So as we watch this video, we would establish which crowd is being spoken to here. Of course, this is a video also.
Yayaye masapuku wariti wemusanga chazvigadzira. Rundona Amen. Ndaterera ruru wangu wakarowa sutu. Sumwejo. Yakakwira ndege sutu yo. Andidika. Nadaro wanga wakuratidza kaku. DAU yo.
All right, you get back here where he mentions the suit yakakwira ndege.
Mwana wedu wepare jina anenzeve nhete izvoka masabhuku amakaisa imi vezanu PF tinoda kukumbira kuti ndanzwa kuti pane mapurisa unondotora mafingerprint unonzwanana here emasabhuku api yayo matora mafingerprint mopa comrade town wondipa nondobhadhara mari yacho kuti akliwe.
Alright, here he's talking about masabhuku, my fingerprints, mondipa, nondobhadhara mari yakliwe. We'll get back to this one also.
Udaite sei? Ufunga clearance mapolisa $10 and it. Huh?
Yeah.
Headmen vanozonyora gwaro ravo ravanogara pasi nekomiti kuti Ansalem Sanyatwe takamubvisa pausabhuku izvoka handiti nokuti chaiva chikonyoka saka pari zvino taisa Patrick Chimuti zvinodiwa izvi izvoka nekudaro nokumbirawo kuti tigare pasi vamberi naidi munangagwa pasi nemhandu security forces mungangoshamiswa kuti kumananopengera.
Right now, he is chanting the ZANU PF slogan. Then he goes, "Vema security forces mungango shamisika kuti commander anopengero." So we've seen some army personnel there that showed when the camera was panning. Let's hear what he's got to say here. Big up to Ruth Mbewe, says it's a new day and a new dawn. Good morning. Yes, good morning and every blessed morning. Big up to Godfrey Maguta. To those who are watching us live, you can write a comment in the top chat or super chat. That's how I can see your name to give shout outs.
Aiwa. Ininguwa ehondo akapinda muno ndiri pisi. Ngazogumisira ndawo. Saka kuchisoja kune chinonzi civil military relations.
Surely.
Oyo. Zvinoreva kuti commissariat yearmy.
Oyo.
Tizoka? Saka commissariat inonzi command function. Saka PC mkuru wemauto ndini.
All right. So then he just explained his technicality there, right? So this guy is an army general, right? So these guys should not be involved in politics. So we are seeing Ansalem Sanyatwe making headlines and sparking controversy. Big up to famous Musonza, right? So this one, we'll get back to it right about now. What this guy was trying to do, what he was doing here, his move in his community, the points that we took note of there on the issue of the tree, the jacket, command, voting, and then paying for the sub-book's fingerprints, and finally that jargon he uses there to try and justify him making a slogan. One thing that I would mention is he is aware of his actions and he tries to justify. Just trying to justify is an admission that I have done something that I shouldn't be doing. All right, now this is a ZANU-PF news slogan, right? So this video, this is my opinion, my analysis on this one. This was meant for video. This particular video was recorded so that it can be leaked. So they deliberately mention Mashingo Woye. Right, of course, they can mention their area in a slogan, but the way they present it, the timing into the video, why? Check about G, Mashingo Woye. Right? So President Idi anongo Mashingo, and say Kupi. But I don't know Mashingo. All right, so this one, I mean, as on passing and Ingrid, the Nelson Chamisa chete, but they didn't necessarily use the word pass. I mean, some words I didn't get it very well. It's Nelson Chamisa only mentioned here, but it begins with a Kuti J, a chant that has been familiarized by the Wikneo Chuvayo leaked audios. Now, this video, it's being out there, suggests something is happening internally within ZANU-PF. Okay, they just don't create Masasa G are associated in something from nowhere and post it. It is meant for something, for a message. Now the question would be, what is the message? Is it the obvious message or the not so obvious message? Because when one is sending a message, you can structure a message such that only the person who it's meant for can understand it and nobody else will get it. There are such messages, right? So if that's the case, the obvious one then will not be so obvious. But the obvious one is Apana Zamnotita. Apana. Apana. That is the obvious message in this slogan there. For whoever these guys are showing their solidarity to. Remember, when the ZEC deals began to explode on social media, we saw a lot of guys who were addressing Sewik Neo Chuvayo. They were addressing him not with respect, right? I wouldn't encourage anybody to disrespect anybody, right? But the way they were addressing him, it was not like respect. They were addressing him with that bias of inferiority, like you're addressing a boss, right? You want to address this boss, but at the same time, you have to be there in the address. The address can give you a face. Maybe your other boss can see this guy is doing something. When there's a problem, this guy is the guy who seeks redress. Okay, so in politics, in political parties, some people try to impress their leaders to be seen to be doing something, which will be either their role or not their role. They will be participating in whatever movement they support. So that is what was happening within ZANU PF on the onset. So these guys can be coming from anywhere. It could be Wicknell Chivayo himself behind this or not. It's highly likely not him, because if it's Wicknell Chivayo, we would have seen more of this. So far, it is just one. Unless it is a test, only time will tell on this one. Now, this one is a very controversial one.
Tati tikuzivisa kuti president wedu wamunangagwa wamakavhotera muri kutendwa neAfrica yese. SADC yawirirana kuti vamunangagwa vaite sachigaro.
Alright, Hanzi, SADC yawirirana kuti vamunangagwa vaite sachigaro anotungamira nyika dzese 16. Alright, that's a fanatic-ish statement.
Anotonga nyika 16 kutanga muna August. Kune vanhu vetriple C vaiti SADC ichauya, SADC ichauya.
Kune vanhu vetriple C vaiti SADC ichauya, SADC ichauya. So ezvinezvi panongonzi vanhu vetriple C opposition isina zita.
Vanga vasinganyepe chokwadi SADC iri kuuya muna August kuzogadza vamunangagwa.
Why SADC iwe kuzogadzika vamunangagwa. Take note the cheer and the energy that this guy has. Of course, language I mentioned that the word ish, fanatic ish, is not the exact word, but fanatic is the word I can use here, or overpraising or over exaggerating. Big up to famous Musonza, Ansalem Makoni, Chamisa and a party. Why are they not saying Pasina when Nubebiti or Scala? Saka Chamisa Anu Varemera. I think the other issue may be, I think Nelson Chamisa also ati akanzi Pasina Nelson Chamisa over ita press conference address a slogan. I thought what only wangochi Pasina Ningi. Pasina Ningi knows that Pasina Ningi muonde chimunenga zvinoti ngaende mugua here. Like we have seen some of those guys vakanzi Pasina Ningi votanga kubuda chita press conference etc. All right, I'm not suggesting Job Scala, even though he's one of them. The other guys, Job Scala, who wouldn't know kuti pamwe akabatwa privately, but the other guys vango kubuda also kutakomana it's a very funny.
Zvino vanzwa kuti SADC yakuya vakuronga mhirizhonga kuda kukonzeresa munyonga mazuva eSADC kuti zvavaiti SADC ichauya zvisaitike. Zvino isu semayuth emusangano weZANU PF vanhu vanoita minyonga vanogara maraini menyu mudzimba dzenyu. Endai munovataurira kuti pachigaro chababa munangagwa apa mirwe.
All right, now this modus operandi, this directive that is giving to these people, that is what happens in ZANU PF. Whether they are sent to do this or they are not sent to do that, they just do that, or there are people who just do that. What this guy is telling these people here. Okay. That is what they do.
Musangano wezanu PF. Vanhu vanoita minyonga vanogara maraini menyu mudzimba dzenyu. Endai munovataurira kuti pachigaro chababa Mnangagwa pamirwe.
And pachigaro pababa Mnangagwa pamirwe. And I like your plausible deniability, my friend. We can have 3 different conversations at the same time for now. It's not deniability. We weigh the facts. The winning fact is undeniable. It just presents itself on its own. So you don't give the conclusion. What's clear is clear. Alright, that's pachigaro pababa Mnangagwa pamirwe. Pakamirwa unochkorwa. So we see him giving a directive to these guys who are part of this attendance to go in communities and be proactive, right? Whatever that community is. So there are people who do that. They send themselves to do that. Maybe because the boss wake ari kubenefita oka something. Kandi ari kutia kubenefita oka something. Maybe ada gain attention by a certain action zakafana nezo. So those things they are very, very real. Those occurrences they are very, very real. Of course, in our society, we have a lot of self-entitled people who may not even be aware. I'm an entitled person who feels entitled to be doing this just because it is the president, etc. Those things, that type of manipulation-ish. This has nothing to do with whatever they are talking about. I'm talking on this formation in general, whatever incident, at whatever time. I'm talking of this in general, but I'm not generalizing the ZANU-PF system. Take note. Okay, there are people who do that, whether they are sent or they are not sent. There are those who do that even when they are not sent. So that's my focus. Yeah. From Norway, you may get caught up in some way. I'm not promoting any imbecile activity. You may be caught up in something that is within your right thing to do. Right? You may get caught up trying to do the right thing. Certain people there are those type of people there. So here we're seeing October a warning on those who are planning to disrupt the SADC summit here in Zimbabwe and the communities there. I don't know what community that is there where they are, but my communities where people are gathering to plan things in this time, according to my own bias and my own analysis, it's rare. Maybe my isolated cases, akafana na the case, this Jameson Timber, the guy who was arrested with other 78 people at his private house. So the fact that you're on 78, private, it would raise suspicion considering Kuti is a political figure. Right? That is if also there are other issues, the background pay his arrest. Tichaona Ngirazi says, Chamisa ndiye anesi kunyange agamuka afuma party isina zitatuenda ikuku kunyangwe akanzi nasi kune my elections unexpectedly we vote for Chamisa. He is everything we have right now. All right. That is a very true fact, actually. In fact, that is a very true fact. In fact, hence why we are seeing the state that Nelson Chamisa is. According to my own analysis, he is in a political burnout, leading to him quitting the Triple C. He was so much strained emotionally and mentally. I'm not going to go deep into the details there because this video is on a public platform. Anybody can just watch this video. People do research, right? So people may research by watching other people's videos and get ideas. I also research by watching other people's videos also. So I don't want to be giving people ideas on how they can persecute somebody, right? But they put him so much under pressure in a bid to break his will and his spirit. There are leading incidences that led to him quitting the political party. It was not a bargain, but it was just a show of power. He was not bargaining so that he could go back to the party there, but he had been going through that for a very long time. Even the issue of having talks with the ruling party, he was hindered by some of the party members, because if there were going to be talks of some arrangement, a lot of people will be after positions. Imagine when he was still in the party, or even the MDC of Changirai, every other person who is not the face of the party, on their own right, in their own right, they are in automatic faction. Any other person who is not the president of the party or the face of the party, in their own right, is a faction. The vice president, let's say there's an arrangement. Okay, let's put an agreement, government of unity. Asheta minister and then those fighting, so people will be fighting to get closer to a president, etc., trying to build influence. So that was happening, and every faction on its own is sucking from the center, trying to get the power from the center. So it's one of the things that happened there. So amidst all that was happening, there was no focus on defeating Sengezo Tabangu. That case, personally, I could have defeated Sengezo Tabangu at law in court without doing any research while in my sleep. But there was a lot of negligence on their part, the Triple C guys, and representing themselves there. So when the need comes, when the need arises, as time goes on, I'll do a video on that one. Tabangu had just a few notes, this, that, etc. Then he just took the steps. The steps would have been easy. He would have just done what the other guys before him have done. That similar fashion, right? When they made this new entity called Triple C, did they deal with what had caused them problems in the past? The answer is no, they had not. Okay, so the issue of strategic ambiguity. Strategic ambiguity on its own, it was a strategic ambiguity. All right, so I think that is clear. So there's no deniability in this one. All right, big up to Cecilia Mapanzula. Says Nelson Chamisa is the people's president. Anyways, a lot of discourse has to be made on this issue of the opposition in Zimbabwe, the position of the opposition in Zimbabwe, because every election we will see repetition of what has happened in the other elections, including low voter turnout. A lot of Zimbabweans don't actually go to vote because they assume that the elections are rigged. So assuming that the elections are rigged and you don't go to vote, that is the rigging. Because the voter has to lose the motivation. And when the voter loses the motivation and you decide not to go to vote, that is the rigging. Some of the rigging. Ati kana unachitakuona kutango kakati ma-citizen kawambosiye sengezo achifamba ega muone wozonzwa kuti nzwe yake yaonekwa kwa mutare. No, that not Zimbabweans. Zimbabweans don't do that. Zimbabweans don't do that. Zimbabweans don't do that. Zimbabweans don't do that. They don't harass people. They may do that vari pa funeral yakafanana ne funeral yakapesera ku attend away when they was heckled because there will be politicians there politicking. But in general, ordinary and normal Zimbabweans who are not paid or was not soliciting for bribes from a political party, that they don't do that. In general, anyways, chimuti chiri mumaoko make sengezo tsabangu. All right, so I don't want to go deep into this one because this is not the subject of these videos. This video, other subjects will be covered in another video. I do not like to tackle a subject and leave it half-baked. Okay. I don't like to tackle a subject and leave it half-baked. Personally, certain characteristics, certain behaviors, I do not like them. Okay. Some things are just unholy, ungodly. I'm not suggesting that the other party is more godly than the other party, but some things are just pure evil and poor evil, like the work of the devil, where you be knowing what you're doing is not just, is not righteous. You know the end of it. The end is you want to end something. So those certain actions, sabotaging, that type of sabotage, kuti manje kana ndisi kutoluma iwe uchalumila nchachidira checha manje manje andime momo, that type of behavior it's very bad, and a lot of people succumb to that human nature. They fail to suppress it. Jealousy, envy, especially envy, jealousy, it's a basic human nature. So that happens. It is not only Sengezo Tsabangu. Sengezo Tsabangu is the guy who managed kutabangula chunu, because when something is being grabbed, somebody will grab it. So we are seeing now they're even trying to grab it from Tsabangu. Again, right now, they turned us into beasts. We should never be turned into beasts, but into best. We should never be turned into be a beast at being best, not a beast as a as a beast. All right. Violent solutions are never solutions. We can hypothesize what can we do, what can be done. We witnessed the violence and the vigilance that happened during the Morgan Changirai trade union era there, leading to the year 2000, when Job Scala was still Job Scala in his full color. Right? When MDC was still thumping each slogan, each mtsindo. MDC chiri kuvhundutsa mayouth MDC anga achiri kuvhundutsa from mayouth ZANU PF those days where people took what was supposedly action and the reaction what happened then. The state, at this state we are in Zimbabwe, cannot be driven to anarchy. It's impossible. That can never happen. We need other solutions that are not turning into beasts. Those solutions are there, but there is no discourse on it or discussion on those topics, because who is interested in discussing those topics? Is it Wolfman Nube? Is it Kauton Wende? Definitely not. I'm going to sign out. Dr. Clarence is the name. TV7 Live. We're going to be back again at 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 12:00, at 12. I don't know what do we call this 12 that's coming here. 12 Muscat noon. All right. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm out.